Hello, friends and students. Today I'll be taking a topic on HIV. It's a very important topic, and you should always be afraid of this disease, as not only it doesn't have any cure, but the other things are that it has many stigmas too. आज भी जब ये बीमारी का नाम आता है किसी के भी दिमाग में, ये वाली बात आ जाती है कि HIV, अरे बाप रे HIV है, इससे दूर रहो. So it is not only physically having any problem or pathologically a person has this disease. A social phobia, a social stigma is attached to this disease, and definitely it's a very bad disease. And as yet, since when it was first found in 1981, after that, yet there is no cure to it. आज तक कोई क्योर नहीं हुआ इसका, और क्योंकि ये सेक्सुअली ट्रांसमिट होती है एंड मेजॉरिटी सेक्सुअली होती है, सो इंडिया जैसी कंट्री में लोग बहुत सोशल स्टिग्मा बनाते हैं इसका. तो पेशेंट को फिजिकली तो वो वैसे ही हैंडीकैप होता है, पैथोलॉजिकली उसको इतनी प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं, बॉडी में सिम्टम साइंस होते हैं, वो वैसे ही परेशान होता है. प्लस दिमागी तनाव ज्यादा हो जाता है, उसको मेंटली स्ट्रेस्ड हो जाता है बिकॉज ऑफ द सोशल फोबिया. सो आई रियली कंसिडर दिस डिजीज एज not only a disease, it comes disease with social disease. It's a social disease, it's a pathological disease, it's a physical disease, it's a mental disease. So all the aspects are covered in this disease, and worst thing is it defects your immunity. The immunity gets destructed by this disease. So what is going to happen in this disease? If our immune cells get destructed, we can get any kind of infection around us, any kind of virus, any kind of bacteria, any kind of fungus, any kind of parasite we can get infected. If a person has this disease, that person can be associated with any kind of disease. Okay. So very pathetic disease, human immunodeficiency virus leading to AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So let me start with my topic. Okay. So coming to the history and some of the definitions and information about the HIV and AIDS. In history, I told you in 1981, it was first found in a gay, and he had relationship with the monkeys. So it was first found in monkeys, in chimpanzees, and he had a relation with the monkey and then men with men. So first it was found in a gay in 1981 in USA, and after that in India also in Chennai in 1981 it was first found. And so the AIDS case was first found in Mumbai in 1985, and with the in 1985 HIV was given the name human immunodeficiency, right? So the documentation was done for this disease. It was tracked from the preserved blood samples. So the tracking was done in 1998, and in 1959, in preserved blood samples, HIV was tracked. Now, I discussed you already that in 1981, the first case of AIDS was defined in a gay person. And however, the scientists later found the evidence and the disease existed in the world in early as 1959. So actually it's not written in here, but actually it was a disease of chimpanzees, not of humans. But our humans are great. They are so social. They acquire every disease of animals. Anyways, let's move further. So, in first world countries, AIDS is now a chronic disease, but this was not the case in past. So, what are the types of HIV? HIV has mainly two kinds, that is HIV-1 and HIV-2. So HIV-1, when we sequence it, it has sequence what? It has some genes like GAG and N. So when we sequenced it, we divided that in three groups. What were the three groups? M, that was in major people, N, that was in minority, and O, that was the outer. So three groups were divided in when we sequenced them. Okay. And when the subtype was made of HIV-1, it was divided in A, B, C, D, and E. So in India and in China, the subtype C is the most important and commonly found. Okay. HIV-2 is a rare part, but the difference in between the two is that HIV-1 is a severe form of HIV, but HIV-2, when it occurs, a person can live for 30-40 years. It's not a severe form. In this mild symptoms of HIV comes, but HIV-1 is a very ferocious this virus, and it kills a person. In average, a person lives only 10 to 15 years with HIV-1. So now let's see what is the structure of HIV. Now, the structure consists of a core, nucleocapsid, and outer envelope. Okay, so here is the envelope, and in envelope we have envelope proteins. This is made up of, whole is made up of 160 GB, but we split 160 into envelope protein, that is 120, through which a virus gets attached, and 41, that is a transmembrane protein, through which the virus is fused inside the body. Okay, and then in that, inside the nucleocapsid, there are matrix protein that is made up of P17, and the nucleocapsid is lined by the lipid membrane, and in that nucleocapsid there is a core, and in that core there are enzymes and some proteins. So the enzyme which is there in a core is the reverse transcriptase. It is a very important enzyme that helps a virus to multiply, right? And it changes. It is known as retrovirus. Why it is known as retrovirus? Because of this enzyme. What does retrovirus means? It means the virus transcribes from RNA to DNA. It converts the nucleic acid to RNA to DNA. Okay. So it has reverse transcriptase, and it has some P24, which is making the capsule of the core, and some proteins. Okay. So basically, it's an icosahedral structure, and it is an enveloped virus. It belongs to lentivirus subfamily of retroviruses, Why retrovirus? Because it transcribes RNA to DNA. Okay, and it has outer envelope and a core, which is core is lined by the nucleocapsid, and envelope has is made up of the envelope proteins. That in between there is a lipid membrane. So this diagram you have to draw in your exams whenever it is HIV is asked. You will get a question like, write the pathogenesis of HIV or AIDS. Then also you have to start with this. You have to start with this, that it is a icosahedral structure. It is an envelope virus, and it is lentivirus belonging to retroviruses subfamily. And you have to make this diagram. Remember one thing, in exam, if you are getting late, you don't have time, you can't complete, just draw the diagram. Then also you will get full marks. If the diagram is well labeled, you don't need to color and do all that anatomy stuff here. You just need to give the proper information from the diagram. So just draw a diagram, and if possible, make a chart. That's it. You don't need to write like कि भाई भाषण लिखना है, ऐसा नहीं करना है कि बस पूरा लिखते जाओ कुछ भी लिख दो, स्टोरी नहीं लिखनी है. You have to give in points, right? So diagrams are very important. Now this is a structural and non-structural protein. We have some structural proteins and non-structural proteins. So what are structural proteins? Are GAG, pole, and N. In this figure, you can see that GAG is in the blue color, pole is in the pink color, and N is in the green color. And there are some non-structure. Why it is quoted that structure and non-structure proteins? Structure proteins makes the structure, and non-structure proteins give the genes through which a virus can act, through which a virus can establish its pathogenesis, right? So, like VIF, VPR, VPU, TAT, NEF, RIV, these all are non-structural proteins. Okay. I had told you one thing. In this diagram, it is clear that in the core, in the nucleus, there are some proteins, some enzymes. Like, which are the enzymes which are in the core? One was reverse transcriptase. The other is protease. One is integrase. Integrase helps the virus to penetrate in. Protease helps the virus for replication. And reverse transcriptase converts the RNA to the DNA. Right? So, coming to the conclusion, we have three main structural genes, that is GAG and Venpol. Now, you just have to remember, don't go into details, that GAG is made up of P24 and P15, and P17 lies in the protein core, and it also has P55, which has the product P7 and 9. So you don't need to go in the details of that. Just you have to remember that GAG consists of these proteins, and these proteins are leading in the formation of a GAG. And now N, which is forming the envelope. Again, I told you that it is made up of, it codes 160 GP, and which splits into 120 and 41. So what does 120 does? 120, I told you a knob structure. You remember the structure of HIV had an envelope, and in that envelope, it had a knob, and in a knob, it was stuck with a stalk. Okay, so that knob is 120, GP120, that helps to get attached from the host cell, and the stalk is GP41, that helps in the fusion or penetration fusion of the virus. So 160 divides into 121 and 41, and both has a fusion and attachment of the HIV to the CD4 antigen of a host cell. So what is the receptor of a person, of a host, is CD4 cell. Now the third structural enzyme was polymerase. That was POL, which codes for P66 and 51. And also P31. Now P66 and P31, P51 subunits of reverse transcriptase. They code reverse transcriptase, and P31 codes endonuclease. So for endonuclease, P31 is responsible, and for reverse transcriptase, P66 and P51 is responsible. Okay. Now, before going to the typical course, this slide I will show you after the next slide. This is a very important slide. So in this slide, what's happening? Let's see. Now, this is the virus. This is the icosahedral virus. It has a knob and it has a stalk. Now, what's happening? Virus is getting attached to the CD4 receptor of a patient. Okay. By this knob structure. This knob structure was GP120. Now, binding has occurred by GP120 of the virus and CD4 receptor of the patient. And what is the adjoint of CD4 is CCR5 receptor. Okay. Now, what is happening? This virus getting fused in the cell of the host, like CD4 of a person. That is occurring with the help of GP41, right? Now this has got inside the cell, right? And what happened? When it gets inside the cell, it leaves the envelope behind, and only the nucleus part, the nucleocapsid part, gets inside. This process is known as uncoating of a cell. Okay. What happens? The coat, whatever was the coat of virus, it's getting lefted out. And inside, what is the part? The nucleus part, the capsid part is getting involved. So what did the nucleus part consisted of? It consisted of reverse transcriptase. It consisted of protease. It consisted of integrase and HIV RNA genome. So this is coming in the body. Now what is happening? This virus is a very smart organism. So what it does, it takes its RNA, it takes the help of the reverse transcriptase, protease, integrase, and there is a conversion from RNA to DNA with the help of reverse transcriptase. And when the DNA is formed with the help of integrase, it goes in the nucleus of the human, right? Of a patient, where it integrates, that is, it joins with the DNA of the host. Okay. And what will happen then? After integration, there will be replication. It will start reproducing there, and the copies of that joint host and virus cell are going to take place, and template formation will take place, resulting in replication of a cell. And because it had many enzymes that will help to build the other part of a virus, how? With the help of the structures of host cell. मतलब क्या करेगा कि आरएनए तो वो खुद का लेगा, एंजाइम्स के थ्रू जो भी ह्यूमन की सेल है उसको तोड़ेगा, उसमें से बाकी की चीजें बनाएगा। जैसे उसका बाहर का लेयर वो बनाएगा वो सेल से, और जो अंदर का उसने आरएनए बनाना है, जो मेन पार्ट अंदर का है वो खुद का रहता है। तो ये सब फिर सारे प्रोटीन्स एंड एंजाइम्स मिलके इसका स्ट्रक्चर बनाएंगे, एंड फिर अगेन ये एक्सोसाइटोसिस हो जाएगा इसका, और असेंबली हो जाएगी, असेंबली होकर ही एक्सोसाइटोसिस होगा, और बर्ड की तरह उस सेल CD4 से निकल के दूसरे CD4 सेल में चला जाएगा, वहां फिर ये रेप्लिकेट होगा, इसी प्रोसेस में जाएगा, फिर वो आगे बढ़ेगा। इस तरह से इसकी पैथोफिजियोलॉजी है और पैथोजेनेसिस भी है, लाइफ साइकिल है एक्चुअली। तो जब भी आपको ये क्वेश्चन पूछा जाएगा कि पैथोजेनेसिस लिखो, तो आप सबसे पहले एक डायग्राम बनाओगे HIV का, उसके बाद इसका जो लाइफ साइकिल है कि किस तरह से अपनी बॉडी में रेप्लिकेट होता है वो आप बनाओगे, ठीक है, ये वाला चार्ट बनेगा। एंड उसके बाद जिस तरह से CD4 सेल डिस्ट्रक्ट होते हैं और WHO की स्टेजिंग है, वो जो मैं अभी आपको बताने वाली हूँ वो आएगी, ठीक है। सो अब टिपिकल कोर्स इन्फेक्शन, अब इस तरह से अपने इन्फेक्शन होता है HIV का, सॉरी। तो इसमें क्या होगा, एक्सपोजर। अब सीधी सी बात है, एक्सपोजर होगा तभी बीमारी होगी। इसका एक्सपोजर कैसे होता है, इसका एक्सपोजर होता है सेक्सुअली इज द मोस्ट कॉमन रूट, सेकेंड कॉमन इज ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन, ओके, third is congenital, okay, now fourth is organ or blood products, right, these are the main four things, okay। ये जो लोग कहते हैं ना कि भाई HIV हमको हो गया, हम बार्बर के पास गए थे, हमने वो ब्लेड सेम यूज किया, नो, दिस इज ऑल रबिश थिंग, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है। इट्स मोस्टली कॉमनली इन इंडिया हेट्रो सेक्सुअल ट्रांसमिशन, अमेरिका में होमोसेक्सुअल है और यहाँ पे इंडिया में हेट्रो है। हेट्रो मेनली बाय द सेक्सुअल वर्कर्स, by the male sex male, and the hijras and all that things which are going on, okay। So typically what is going to happen, exposure will take by all these things, and then RNA will come in the body, there will be a rise in the HIV RNA in the body, and after some latent period, supposedly after 30 days, there will be symptoms. There will be, it is actually 6 weeks, okay, so 6 weeks there will be symptoms like a common virus infection, there will be symptoms, and after 40 days P24 will be positive, and after this 6 to 8 weeks there will be antibodies seen. So if a person is infected with HIV, only best first thing has to be done is HIV RNA load should be taken. The antibody will give positive in 6 to 8 weeks, and the second best test is P24 antigen. Okay, so modes of transmission, I already taught you that there are blood products, semen, vaginal fluids. Sharing needles, yes, I really forgot. Sharing needles is the one of the most common thing going on in this era. I mean, people are using drugs, and in galleries they share the needles. So using unsterilized, needles, and this is not the shaving blade, this is the scalpel and all that we use in the operation theater. So we have to be very cautious while using if we are using the needles, we should not use the same needle. First and foremost, you should dispose them off and use the disposable one. And but if in circumstances that you are in a village and you don't have, you just boil them properly. That will also do. But don't do like this, that the same needles and same sharp blades and all are being used. So that can create a havoc. Okay. So sharing needles is again a mode of transmission through sexual unprotected intercourse like oral and anal, and even mother to baby, like I told you, congenital before birth also. And you, in whenever there is an ANC checkup, whenever there is an ANC checkup, in first ANC only, we are telling the patient to go for HIV. Okay, this is the reason, because it is transmitted to the womb. So mostly it is transmitted by the heterosexual, and then from men to men, and then from IDU, that is intravenous drug users, and then from others. So now, what is the natural course of this virus of disease? First, when it will come in the body after 2 to 3 weeks. Like other viruses, it will develop like flu-like symptoms, and there will be mild symptoms, and person will be like कि हाँ भाई common सा वो एक फिजिशियन, जो लोकल फिजिशियन है उसके पास चला जाएगा और उसको बोलेगा कि सर मेरे को खांसी जुकाम हो रहा है और बस थोड़ा सा बुखार आ जाता है, और वो क्या करेगा, उसको अगर उसने सोचा HIV की तरफ, वैसे कोई सोचता नहीं ज्यादा, बट अगर सोचा तो वो करवाएगा तो करवाएगा, नहीं तो वो थोड़े बहुत मेडिसिन दे देगा, पेशेंट रिलीव हो जाएगा, पेशेंट कुछ दिनों के लिए रिलीव हो जाएगा। फिर क्या होगा कि कुछ दिन बाद वो जब सही हो जाएगा तो 1-2 महीने बाद उसको सिर्फ लिम्फ नोड्स आएंगे, बाकी कोई सिम्टम नहीं होगा। तो हमारे इंडिया में लिम्फ नोड्स को तो कोई ध्यान रखता नहीं है, तो क्या होगा, बस ये बोलेंगे कि हाँ ये बस कुछ हो गया है, सूजन हो गई है, कोई दर्द वर्द नहीं है, तो लीव इट कर देते हैं। तो दैट इज वेरी रॉन्ग actually. So that is the stage of asymptom. But in this stage, a person can infect other person. And the worst stage is this stage only because he is asymptomatic. He will not have any symptoms. And this stage lasts for 10 years. So it's a worst ever stage of HIV. Because is it infectious? If this patient doesn't know he has HIV, and the levels are low, but they are present, and antibodies are detected. Now, after 10 years, if a person has not been diagnosed, then symptoms occurs. And that is due to immune system gets deteriorated. That's why all the opportunistic infection, cancer start appearing in the body. Now, the fourth stage is when the immunity has broken down, the system of immunity has decreased too much. That is resulted in AIDS. So you have to remember the definition. When the CD4 count gets less than 200, then it is called as acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. You have to know the difference between the HIV infected person and an AIDS disease. So an HIV infected is only having an HIV infection. And AIDS is a person when a CD4 count has got decreased for 200 cell count. So you should know the difference. After that, in AIDS, what will happen? If 500 less, it's not AIDS, but associated opportunistic infection will occur. They will start occurring when the CD4 is less than 500. So which are the organisms and which are the diseases associated when CD4 is less than 500 is bacterial infections, tuberculosis, herpes simplex, herpes zoster, vaginal candidiasis, hairy leukoplakia, Kaposi sarcoma. Okay, and when there is AIDS, that is less than 200, there will be suspicion of Pneumocystis carni, which was previously known as Pneumocystis jirovecii. Now, this is a fungus, this is not a parasite. You should take this in your head that it is a fungus, it is not a parasite. So, Pneumocystis carni, then Toxoplasmosis, that is a parasite. Cryptococcus is a parasite. Coccidioidomycosis, Cryptococcus is a fungus, and Coccidioidomycosis is again a fungus, and Cryptosporidiosis is a parasite, and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. This will appear in less than 200. So if a person CD4 is less than 500 and person comes to you, the patient will come like, sir, I have my history is I have a lot of weight loss, and I'm having a respiratory problem. Either he will say hemoptysis, either he will say cough in the sputum. He can come to TB ward. He can come to skin disease, the skin OPD. Okay, and he can come to carcinoma. So you guys have to remember this, that if a person has come to you that is giving you a history that few years back I had an episode of flu-like symptoms. I had a episode of flu-like symptoms, and then everything was normal, everything was good, and after that again I have same kind of symptoms, or some deteriorating more symptoms, or he will develop a skin. So you have to suspect HIV, you have to go for the diagnosis of HIV. If the CD4 is less than 50, then what is going to be seen? Disseminated Mycobacterium avium complex infection, histoplasmosis, CMV retinitis, CNS lymphoma, progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy, HIV dementia. I think these diseases, I think you don't know about the CMV retinitis. CMV retinitis is cytomegalovirus retinitis. This virus you are going to study, and lymphoma and leukoencephalopathy. This you will study in pathology. Histoplasmosis is again a fungal disease, and disseminated Mycobacterium avium complex infection is a bacterial infection. So if 50 less, a person also gets dementia. So you have to remember one thing always, that in psychiatry, how is psychiatry associated with the microbiology? It's the only one disease, that is HIV. Because of HIV, mostly HIV is a very common disease that associates, a person get dementia, a person can get seizures, a person can get any psychological depression, all that stuff. Any disease can occur of psychologically. So a psychiatrist is very well needed for these kind of patients. So this is the chart, which is the summary, that what will happen in 10 weeks. There will be fever, myalgia, arthralgia, adenopathy, malaise, rash, meningoencephalitis, and then if the CD4 count is more than 500, that is in early stage, Guillain-Barré syndrome can occur, demyelinating neuropathy can occur, idiopathic thrombocytopenia, Retter's syndrome, polymyositis, Sjogren syndrome, Bell's palsy, all that can occur. And if the count of CD4 is between 200 to 500, a person can be infected with tinea infections, onychomycosis, gingivitis, seborrheic dermatitis, molluscum congenitorum, and herpes zoster, tuberculosis, sinusitis can occur. And in advance, that is in the case of AIDS, a person can be infected with oral candidiasis, hairy leukoplakia, herpes simplex, cryptosporidiosis, pneumocystis carni or Girovasi pneumonia, toxoplasmosis, cryptococcus, Mycobacterium avium complex, cytomegalovirus, and Kaposi sarcoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, cervical intraepithelial neuralgia, primary central nervous system lymphoma. So these are the things. So what is a SLIMS disease? Now this is the criteria of WHO only, but the SLIMS disease is occurring in the stage 4. In that, there are 10% more is a weight loss, more than 10% of the loss, and there will be a watery diarrhea, and there will be fever. These 3 triads are the SIMS disease. Okay. Now, second class, I'm going to take tomorrow. That includes your testing strategy. That includes your diagnostic testing and some things about the treatment. So that class I will be taking tomorrow, and with that I will be accompanying you the universal precautions which I had taken earlier, and because I was unmute or something, some error happened in the last class, so I will continue that in tomorrow class. Okay. So any questions regarding today's topic?